Welcome back to Sador's Turning Pages, where we have our writer, Sheree Singleton. And we're going to piggyback on the question we just asked a few minutes ago. What would you tell somebody that was depressed or dealing with depression or thought they were dealing with depression?
I think one of the biggest things I would ask them was, I will first ask them, did they feel supported? And depending upon their answer, I will let them know that, to find a place where there's no judgment. One thing I found when I went to my therapist and I started talking to her, and I forget what I said to her, and she was like, whoa, whoa. She said, this is no judgment. Mm-hmm. And I think I think she realized I was beginning to change my answers based on what I thought she wanted to hear. Mm-hmm. And she kept doing it. She was like, whoa, whoa, no judgment. Mm-hmm. And she said it so much that I began to believe her. And as I began to believe her, I felt supported. I felt as if there was no judgment in that room. And I was able to pour out what I needed to. So I would suggest to someone, and like I said, it can be very difficult. Mm-hmm. It can be very difficult. Some of the other things is that I've learned is that it's not just one thing. One point I was I was dealing with something and I was very upset, and I had to, it got to the point that no matter what happened, anything would like take me over because I was already full. And I had to pick something, and I picked one thing, and that would relieve what I was going through at that moment. And that's when I picked trying to find a therapist. And after I did that and I made the initial appointment, I began to let out on the telephone. And from there, I was able to go to the next step. Mm-hmm. So sometimes, and I even talk about it, just not in the book, but in the workbook that goes along with the book, is that one of the things is you just have to start somewhere. Right. And sometimes that is the hardest thing, because for me, my vision and my perception was so clouded that I could not see clearly and I could not hear clearly, because everything was coming through a filter of depression. Mm-hmm. So if I said depression was speaking loud. Yeah, and I couldn't see, I couldn't hear, I just couldn't function anymore. But thank God I was able to, start somewhere. And even if it's just that one small step, that's something better than nothing. Mm-hmm. And that's what I did, and that's what I would suggest, and that's what I would say. Just start somewhere. No matter what happens, one of the biggest things is that we think that it's like forever. Is no end to the pain. And that's how I felt. Mm-hmm. And when you realize that it's just temporary, even if it lasts 5 or 10 years, there is a beginning and there is an ending. So it will end. So I would say, start somewhere, pick a place where you feel supported, and know that your journey is not going to be like everybody else's. What worked for you may not work for me. What worked for me may not work for you. And that's just the nature of the beast, but it's a lot of things that you can do. One of the things that I found that works for me is breathing. And I now take time to just breathe. And that was one of the things that helped me become more aware of me. Mm-hmm. And more aware of myself. And it calms me down like no other. And I just take a moment, no matter where I am, I will stand, I will slow down, and I will breathe, even if I have to go to my car. Yeah. And just breathe.
Yeah, I heard that on the YouTube yesterday. Actually, somebody was talking about that. If you just take a moment, so many different things would happen differently. How many people would be in jail if they just took a moment? So yeah, I think that's really important that you take a moment. I feel like even people that are depressed, if they had that chance to just take a moment, then they wouldn't, depression wouldn't take over them so much, because they would start to think a little bit differently. So we're coming to the close of our show today. So we're going to let Sheree tell us about her book signing, how you can purchase her book, Because she is coming back next month,
Next
right?
month.
Next month. She'll be back next month, and we'll dig deep into this book. Into the book, yes.
First, can we get a little teaser?
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got
Here's a little excerpt.
So,
I think I had a little excerpt. No.
you can take yours.
Can I pull
We're
up?
gonna have the
Okay.
author
Yeah.
read her own excerpt.
It's already to get in there, right?
That's what we gonna
So,
What's the end?
One of the things that I realized was when I started writing the book was that I was not going to write my book like a typical book.
Mm-hmm.
And I started trying to do that, and it didn't work for me at all. And what I found was me writing, saying something positive that came from it, and saying what I learned from it
Right.
was one of the things that helped me, because at the end of the day, if I can help somebody else not go through the years of pain that I went through, then by God, I'm glad. And so many people have said, "Oh my God, thank you." You know what I mean? And it's even from when I went, started telling people that the book was coming out and what it was about, and they were just very appreciative, just that somebody else was talking about it. So one of the things that I'm trying to see if I can find it. One of the things that helped me was me believing that I was not my mistakes. And that was so important for me, because I had attached myself to my mistakes, and I had to realize that that was not the case. So one of the chapters, in chapter 2, it talks about getting to the root of it. And then that's how I said, I just kept going back. And at the end of the chapter, it talks about something positive that came from it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just one of the excerpts from that. And it just says, an epiphany for me, just because I exhibited a certain behavior didn't mean that an epiphany for me, because I exhibited a certain behavior, it didn't mean that was who I was as a person. Never before had I been able to separate my actions from me. I always assumed that I was just broken and I was sentenced to be a certain way for the rest of my life. So this new knowledge gave me the strength and courage to continue my pursuit and getting to know me as an individual and becoming the best me I could possibly be. And just as my story isn't over, your story isn't over either. Be strong, be courageous. There is power in your mind.
You need to look at the
That's
camera.
my favorite part of the book.
That's
Be courageous, be determined. That's my favorite part.
Look at the camera. Look at the camera. Say that last line to everybody. And then tell them where they can purchase your book next week.
So most of the ones that ends like that, it says, just as my story isn't over, your story isn't over either. Be strong, be courageous, and be brave. There is power in your mind.
Yeah.
And my book will be on sale on Saturday, May 18th. We will be at Iconic Studios, 6139 Germantown Avenue. And we are starting at 6 p.m. So come through and get your copy. Signed by me.
Hold that book up for you.
Sure.
Can we purchase the book before then, or we have to wait till then?
Please wait till then. Actually, if some people cannot make it to the book signing, yes, if you can contact me through Facebook or Messenger, and we will make sure you get a copy of the book.
Yeah,
Yes.
tell the people how to reach you.
Everybody knows my phone number now. It's 215. Do I know my phone number? 215-290-0828 is my number, and on Facebook I am Sheree Uniquely Me Singleton.
Awesome.
So we gonna see you next month?
Yes. Next month
I'll
we'll
be
get
back
deep
next
into the book. So you guys will have a copy by May 18th, and you'll have your questions, and we can ask them many questions, and we'll be here the 1st of June, the first Monday in June, right?
Yes.
First Monday in June, 6:30 to 8.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to Sadior's Turning Pages.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Sheree.
Thank you, ladies.
There is no judgment.